Is the Book of Boba Fett teasing a major character death? A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Boba Fett was once the coolest looking character to have the lamest death imaginable. He was knocked into the gaping maw of a desert-dwelling murder monster by a disoriented Han Solo who was groping about Jabba's pleasure barge. And with that simple act, Boba Fett became a Sarlacc sand snack and was relegated to Schrodinger's cat status as Star Wars canon and the expanded universe increasingly diverged. With The Mandalorian Season 2, Boba finally got the redemption his character so desperately needed in the main canon. Not only did he survive the Sarlacc pit and apparently spent time among the Tusken Raiders, but he also proved essential in the battle against Moff Gideon to rescue the wee baby Grogu from his Mit Gideons. Now though, the Book of Boba Fett spin-off is finally out in the wild, and this series will show us how Boba Fett will turn the remains of Jabba's criminal empire into Robert Fettuccine's Tatooine Syndicini, which is what I'm calling it until Lucasfilm sends me a cease and desist letter. And Lucasfilm, if you're watching, please don't send that. I can't start this year on that note. Please don't take legal action. Now, not only did we learn how Boba Fett survived being swallowed by the Sarlacc pit, which was almost exactly as Parks and Rec predicted, but we saw just how fragile control over Tatooine's scum and villainy really is. And we also saw how fragile our eponymous anti-hero is thanks to his numerous trips to the bacta tank to heal from his lingering wounds. And speaking of that bacta tank, the omnipresent medical device in the galaxy far, far away is at the center of a new theory that suggests the Book of Boba Fett could be foreshadowing something tragic for Boba himself. And while this is just a theory for the time being, if it winds up coming to pass, it could be considered a spoiler. So if you're worried about that kind of thing, now's your chance to leave.
Lord Fett offers the gift of your leave unmolested.
Alright, let's get into it, shall we? This theory, which was first posited by Dork Side of the Force, suggests that the Book of Boba Fett could be reaching deep into the annals of Star Wars legends to bring back one of the darker aspects of Boba Fett's character. As we learn in Stranger in a Strange Land, Boba Fett's time in the Sarlacc's Tum was unpleasant to say the least. To make matters worse, he was then robbed of his armor by some enterprising Jawas and left for dead in the desert until Tusken Raiders took him captive. You know, because some good old-fashioned dehydration was exactly what the bounty hunter needed after every other indignity that he suffered. As we all know, bounty hunting is a dangerous profession. As a result of the injuries he sustained over the years, and most prominently from being almost digested for 1,000 years by the Sarlacc, Boba still requires copious amounts of medical treatment some 5 years after Return of the Jedi. As it turns out, this is a plot detail taken straight from the pages of a 1996 short story, The Last One Standing, The Tale of Boba Fett. Written by Daniel Keyes Moran and edited by Kevin J. Anderson, this story appeared in Bantam Spectra's Tales of the Bounty Hunters anthology. The story envisions a much older Boba Fett facing off with Han Solo one last time in a duel for the ages on Jubilar, where they first met in the Legends canon. And while that's all well and good, we learn that Boba Fett has spent much of his ill-gotten gains on medical treatments to stem the tide of a rare type of cancer. He developed it as a result of his time in the Sarlacc, which altered his metabolism somehow. And although the Boba Fett we see in that short story is much older, it tracks with where we pick up with people like Han Solo by the time of The Force Awakens. And we could be seeing something similar play out in the Book of Boba Fett. So, does this mean the final chapter of the Book of Boba Fett will end with Boba going from daimyo to dead-yo? Well, probably not. But having such a physical limitation will make for a fascinating ascent to power in a land where strength is prized so highly. Because unlike Wade Wilson or Wolverine, Boba Fett doesn't have a built-in healing factor. He'll need regular bacta baths if he wants to rebuild his strength after stomping assassins' asses in. The real question, though, is whether or not Fennec Shan can protect him from all of these interlopers who are going to be gunning for his throne. After all, someone sent those assassins after Boba and Fennec, and we still need to decipher the crime syndicate that's behind that mysterious symbol we saw painted on the wall in Episode 1. This lingering physical condition is just the latest in a long line of plot developments being made canon once more after they were thought lost to the annals of history when Disney hit the reset button on so much of Star Wars Legends lore. Case in point, cancer wasn't the only deadly illness that Boba Fett found himself facing down in Star Wars Legends. At one point, Han Solo's Sith son, Darth Caedus, and the Imperial Remnant engineered a nanovirus specifically designed to kill Boba Fett. They released said virus on Mandalore, but Boba was thankfully off-world, so he dodged that bullet. Unfortunately, that meant he could never set foot on Mandalore again as long as he lived. And considering how The Mandalorian seems to be teeing up a plotline to reclaim Mandalore, maybe we could see something like that play out down the line, but for now, it's just another hurdle for Boba Fett to overcome on his quest to become the most respected crime lord on all of Tatooine. For now, let's just hope that when it comes to getting ahead in life, Boba doesn't take after his dad. But speaking of Han Solo, does the revival of this particular plot point give any credence to the rumors that the scruffy-looking nerf herder himself will make an appearance in this show? According to The Sun, whose reports warrant more salt than you would find on the surface of Crate, Harrison Ford is reportedly rumored to have spent 3 days filming in London for a cameo scene in the final episode of the Book of Boba Fett. And while that might be cool to have Han and Boba reunite for one last stare down, Harrison Ford seemingly wants nothing more to do with the galaxy far, far away, especially after the sequel trilogy. I mean, look, he finally got his decades-long wish to be killed off as we saw at long last in The Force Awakens. But then again, who knows? Anything is possible in the galaxy far, far away. Maybe we'll get another eerie instance of digital de-aging like they did with Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian Season 2 finale. Or maybe it'll be Alden Ehrenreich in old age makeup. We'll just have to wait and see for ourselves as the Book of Boba Fett continues to unfold each week on Disney+. In the meantime, though, we'll have plenty of deeper dives into the galaxy far, far away waiting for you over on Nerdist.com. For now, though, tell us, what did you think of the Book of Boba Fett's debut? Do you think Boba Fett will live to see a Season 2? And what other Star Wars Legends stories do you want to see made canon?
I'm Cobb Vanth, Marshal of Mos Pelgo.
Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like and share this video with your friends and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. And if you haven't already done so, please hit subscribe. Do it! Or else somehow Palpatine will return again. And for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, make sure you stay tuned to Nerdist.com.